Hello everybody, I hope you can all hear me. It's Penny here and welcome to the Interra Online Partner Meet for 2020. With me I have Joseph and Victor, and they will be taking part in the presentation. So we have some slides for you today, and we'll move straight on into the presentation. So no IBC this year. Normally we do this session before going off to Amsterdam, but not this year. So in spite of the virus, we've been having a pretty successful year. It turns out that a lot of customers have had to start thinking very deeply about how they automate their workflows. And as part of that, that has required additional QC requirements, which has obviously been good for our products. I'd like to thank you all for joining today, and also for all the hard work that you've been putting in these very strange times. And also welcome to our new partners who've joined us in the last year. So just a few notes on what we've been up to this year, and just to cover what we're going to do today. Today we're doing a key facts overview of all the products, highlighting some of what's new. There is a great deal that's new, but we recognize that many of you get a little swamped with all these webinars and options, and so we thought we would give a kind of quick overview of each of the products and what's coming soon, and then you've got the key information about them, and we can work with you going forward to give the details that customers might need. Next week and in October, we are running our more in-depth webinar series, the live showcase, and I hope you've all had some invitations for those. And each of those goes into the product in much more depth. So, you know, you can participate in that, but they will be available as recordings as well. So if you can't make the actual live session, then, you know, please feel free to browse through them at your leisure. We also are keeping up with our regular Interra Insights mailings to partners. So do let us know if you're not receiving them, if, I don't know, maybe they've got in the spam box or something, but they do let you know a little bit about what's been going on and what are sort of recent updates, and also recent wins that we've had. And of course, there are also data sheets on all the products on the website, which are quite useful when you're first talking to customers. And we do also have, particularly for BATON, video tutorials on the website. You have to register for these, but if you let us know, you know, we can arrange for sort of a bunch of them to be sent to you with the links via email. So do let us know if you want more than one or two of those. And they just go into particular things that customers might want to know within the products. And of course, as usual, more than ever, we're able to offer online demos and trial systems, and we're happy to do online sessions direct with customers as and when people want to do them, because it does look like none of us are going to be able to do a lot of travel for a little while, though we of course would be very happy to visit if we could. And there are a lot of new updates and some new products to show. So I'm going to hand over in a moment, after we've just had a little word about the press and speakers and events that we are doing. We've had various articles and adverts in online publications, and we were chosen as one of the top 50 companies in streaming media globally. That's because of all the work we've been doing with our ORION suite products, and they seem to be gaining pace. And hopefully one day they will have the global position that BATON does. Is coming up fast. The LIPSYNC product, which is one of our new products, that won TV Technology Best of Show. Obviously that was virtual show this year, but it did win that. And we've been doing various video interviews, sort of publication type things we were on IBC TV. Shailesh from our development engineering group was talking about our work on AI and ML with them in some detail. IBM TV, and also we've been contributing to the DPP. It's mainly UK based, but the DPP have done a lot of work on all kinds of, not specifically technical standards, but file formats and that kind of thing, and done quite a lot of work on IMF as well. So a lot of contributions going in to this sort of global overall partnership mentality. So just some things. We're still very, very focused on QC for integrated and automated workflows, but we have clients from very small post-production companies to very, very large global organization. And it does help our clients save and retain subscribers in a very competitive world. We're finding that a lot of clients are now looking for a full QC backbone right across their workflow. And that is meaning that some of our customers, that existing customers for BATON, are now looking for things like to add ORION suite and maybe LIPSYNC, and also our CAPTION product that we're also going to talk about a bit today. Just to pick out some other things, a lot of our new products are based around artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are products that will grow and grow. The more they're used, the better they get, because obviously the learning part is quite critical to those products. And we're starting to see that being used to enhance what people do in content preparation and also content distribution around the world. And of course, underpinning all that are our VEGA analyzer products. The in-depth work and what we do with VEGA feeds through into the production products. And that means that more than any other company, Interra in video and audio QC can have that depth that's needed and can keep up with all the changes in formats and upgrades and everything that needs to go on. So I'm now going to hand over to my colleagues. We're going to talk about, as you can see, it's quite a number of products. So we will just be going through the very highlights of these. I'm going to hand over and we'll start talking about the individual products. So over to Joseph, who's just going to talk about what we're going to do now and in the future with BATON.
Thank you very much, Benny, and welcome everyone. So on the BATON side, just a couple of highlights. Right now we are working on releasing the next BATON 8.0 version, which is going to be a major release, and this will be available sometime this November. And as usual, all the customers who are covered by maintenance and support will receive this major update. Some of you might know that this year we also launched the Interra cloud service called ICS. Basically, this one is a cloud-based SAS service that is targeting the small independent filmmakers. So typically those companies who are delivering content to Amazon Prime or to Netflix or to some DPP broadcasters, and maybe they have some really low content amount and they just look for a kind of online SAS type of QC service. So for this ICS, we do encourage you that in case you have some customers who really have tiny content amount and they cannot really afford to purchase a BATON system, you can basically direct to this service and they can take a look whether this would be suitable for their needs. Again, this service is pretty limited, so this one is not with the BATON product offering. So in case somebody wants to have really in-depth automation, they want to create all sorts of test plans and so on, then ICS is not for them. right? So for those companies, for those customers, you can basically offer BATON, either a permanent license or a time-based license. So this solution is aiming to serve a different type of customer base. BATON auto scaling, so this one is on the other hand targeting the large BATON customers. So this typically those big broadcasters and big telco companies who deal with extra large content amount, and time to time they might have huge peaks, and they want to automatically scale up or shrink down later on their BATON system, and they want to do peak management. So we also have an offering in the cloud. BATON can automatically scale up and shrink down as and when needed. So this one is also a nice offering, especially for large BATON customers. So a couple of highlights in the BATON 8.0 release. In this version, we add some new format specific checks that are basically checks for MP4, transport stream, MXF, and closed captions. We also made enhancements in the GOP structure check and the MD5 check. Also improved and enhanced the IMF support. So IMF came up with some brand new specification, and we also added support for this new IMF specification. We also added some new video formats like AVS Plus and FFV1, and a couple of new image formats like PSD, ARRIRAW, and DNG. Further, we made enhancements in the JPEG 2000 decoding performance, and also enhanced the timecode reporting in the errors. On the user interface side, we added an option to search tasks with info severity level, and also added support to export frame-by-frame PSC analysis in Excel report. On the enterprise enhancement side, we added support for Dropbox content location, support for directly reading from Amazon S3 cloud for even more formats. And we also added support for direct reading of files from Google Cloud and Azure Cloud locations. The scaling options were also enhanced, and we made serious performance improvements on loading of the web pages in the user interface. Now, talking about the BATON Media Player, so BATON Media Player is no longer about BATON only. It can be used across all the different Interra products, including the ORION product family, including, of course, BATON. And as you will see, or new machine learning-based solutions like WINNOW, LIPSYNC, and CAPTIONs, those are also using the BATON Media Player application. Many of you know that we also launched the BATON Media Player as a standalone media player. So in case somebody has a need for a standalone player application that is able to cope with all the different file formats that the BMP is able to handle, then a standalone player application is also available. So in the new version of BMP, we added support for Dolby Vision video, support for FFV1 video, ARRIRAW, PSD image formats are also supported, also added support for SSA subtitles, made enhancements in the timecode display format, also made performance improvements in reading 4K resolution files. And then we also added support for the Dropbox content location. Now in BMP, support for the PSE statistical graph is also available. So at this point, I would like to hand it over to my colleague, Victor Till, who will talk about the new things in the ORION suite. And in case you are interested and you do want to see all the new things in BATON, I do encourage you to join our BATON webinar on the 15th of October. And in case you can invite your customers as well, they can have a look on the brand new upcoming 8.0 release, and you can get like a more in-depth demonstration and see what are the new things in the BATON product family.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Hi, everybody. So let me continue our presentation with a quick overview and news about our ORION product family. So just a quick recap, what is ORION? So while BATON is working in the file domain, ORION has been designed for monitoring real-time streams as well as live and VOD OTT services. It is a product family with dedicated building blocks, all of them designed and built from the ground up to provide a comprehensive end-to-end monitoring solution for streaming media workflows to catch possible delivery-related problems. To do this, ORION offers real-time content monitoring probes to deal with live streams. After the packaging, when the content is available in OTT format, the active ORION-OTT content monitor can be used directly at the origin server and also in post-origin stages. And we also have end-to-device monitoring solution that is a passive monitoring solution to collect and use information about the real end-user viewing experience. So at the top of all of these components, we have OCM, that stands for ORION Central Manager. And in OCM, you can register all your individual ORION probes. So OCM becomes a common single access point to all of your monitoring data in the workflow. In this way, while ORION probes are providing information on individual streams or OTT packages, OCM has a content-centric approach. And in OCM, you can see how the content is actually traveling through the whole workflow, thus it can help to see fault correlation across all the stages. And if more information is needed about a given problem, directly from the OCM UI, you can drill down and access the interface of the connected probes. Some details about OCM. It is a software solution running on Linux operating system. It can be installed on-premise or in virtual or cloud environment. It collects the monitoring information from the registered probes in real-time manner, and it shows the aggregated alerts in a high-level view, enabling the easy error correlation. For example, in OCM, you can see the status of the same content before and after the transcoding in central and remote headends, but also the OTT representation of the same content can be seen in origin and also in post-origin phases. And once a problem happens somewhere, the status of the different representation of the same content can be immediately investigated by OCM. And it also suggests about the possible reason, possible resolution of the given problem, and also it shows the related errors in the previous stages. So let's continue with the overview of ORION real-time content monitoring. This component is dealing with real-time MPEG-2 transport stream. It can be used to validate the input-output of transcoders, multiplexers. It can be used for monitoring the content, the delivery between the main and remote headends. So this is a good choice for network operating centers, and it can be also a very useful tool in end-to-end streaming monitoring workflows. in the pre-packaging phase. ORION can help in real-time debugging of the live content. It can help in the automation of the monitoring based on the predefined profiles. It is very similar than the testness in BATON, and it also supports the long-term trend analysis and long-term reporting. The system has its own web UI, and it can be also used by its full-featured RESTful API. So a quick overview about the details of the product and some key features. This is a full software-based solution for automated enterprise-level monitoring of real-time streams. As a software solution, ORION can run on general off-the-shelf hardware over Linux and also on Windows operating systems. It is capturing the real-time MPEG-2 transport stream over IP and ASI interface. Also, it supports the direct monitoring of SDI signals and also the SDI over IP streams. And once the content is captured, ORION is doing the detailed checks on different levels. It's starting on IP level, like network jitters, timing issues, out of order package, and so on. It continues on container level, where different kind of compliance checks are supported in order to ensure that the whole bit stream satisfies the corresponding standards, of course, including DVB, ATSC, ISDB compliances. Many container and essence level custom checks are also available, like codecs, resolution, language metadata, and so on. We do decode the raw audio and video elementary streams as well, so it enables a set of useful quality of experience checks like freeze frame, black frame, brokenness, loudness, silence, and so on. And not just the audio and video, but different kind of data elementary streams are also supported, like teletext, subtitling, add insertion, closed captions, and so on. Some highlights about the key features and new features we have. So the actual version is version 3.0. Comparing to previous versions, it has a renewed web UI and lots of performance improvement. By now, based on our customer feedbacks, it is supported in the Linux operating system and not just on Windows. And actually, it will become a Linux product in the future. Deployment in virtual environment is also possible now thanks to the Linux operating system support. SDI over IP support has been added following SMPTE 2022 standard. New built-in profiles for lab and production environment are available. Support for round-robin monitoring has been added. This option is selected on service level. Enhanced service availability monitoring based on the recently introduced new severity level that is called outage. We provided combination checks. So, for example, to report freeze or black frames only if they are happening with or without audio issues. Support for LDAP authentication is also added, and there is a UI improvement to support light and dark terms. So let's continue with the OTT monitoring. After file packaging in origin and post-origin phases, active and passive content monitoring is supported by using the components of ORION-OTT monitoring solution. Similarly to ORION real-time monitoring, ORION-OTT content monitor is also a software solution to help the content debugging, the automation, and long-term trend analysis and reporting. ORION-OTT provides detailed quality of service and quality of experience monitoring for both live and VOD content. It helps to get real-time information of the currently monitored content, but it also helps to automate the monitoring process. So, for example, if the content doesn't match with the predefined expectation you have in your profile, then it can send automatic notifications via email, or it can also send SNMP traps. But it can also do the trigger recording or execute external custom scripts. All the alerts and logged information are stored in the internal database, so later you can do the detailed trend analysis via the web UI, or you can also get the same information by using the RESTful API. Another very important feature is the data monitoring. that includes the ad verification support or subtitle or closed caption monitoring as well. And just like in case of ORION real-time monitoring, according to our customer feedback, the system is now available over Linux and will also become a Linux product in the future. Regarding the supported formats and protocols, HLS, MPEG-, smooth streaming, Adobe HDS are supported. Also RTMP stream monitoring. I would also highlight the comprehensive DRM support with different encryption solution supported. And this DRM support includes a couple of built-in DRM solutions, but it's also possible to directly, manually or via the API, upload content keys by the UI or the API. So you can also automate this manual DRM. Some highlights and new features to mention. ORION-OTT has a very comprehensive ad insertion monitoring based on SCT35 standard, and it is available both for HLS and MPEG-. We are adding new audio quality checks. These are quite similar that we already have in BATON, just like jitter, noise. Service availability monitoring, similarly to ORION real-time monitoring, it is based on the newly introduced outage severity level. RDLP authentication support has been added. Wallboard mosaic view that can be actually quite useful feature when watching the monitoring result on a big screen of NOC rooms. Custom filter-based views and custom alert indicator categories. This can make the UI much more customizable. Support of dark theme, again, here is added for better visibility in dark monitoring rooms. Export the captured measurement data like bit rate, blockiness, loudness, and so on into JSON or Excel formats. New built-in profiles for lab and production environment has been added. We also have a failover support if a monitor service goes down. So that was all I wanted to quickly mention about ORION. In our upcoming product webinars, as it was mentioned, we will show, of course, further details. Now the goal was only to do a quick recap and do a highlight about some important and new features. Of course, you can reach us anytime if you want to learn more in advance of the upcoming webinars. Just one more thing before continue with other products. So as you saw, ORION itself covers a lot of things and provides a comprehensive solution to catch mainly delivery and OTT related issues in the streaming workflow. However, it can be combined with other Interra products to deal any kind of monitoring needs in a unified platform. So even if streaming media workflow, in the streaming media workflow, it can be combined with BATON. So BATON can help a lot in the content preparation phase. But here you can also see some other examples how and where our other products can be connected. So in the remaining time, we would like to give you some overview about these products, these machine learning and AI-based products, including WINNOW, CAPTION, LIPSYNC, and of course, then we will also talk about VEGA. So now let's continue with the WINNOW. So WINNOW is dedicated for automated tagging and classification of media content. It is utilizing state-of-art AI and machine learning technologies and leaning on Interra Systems industry-proven expertise for audio and video processing. On the basis of multimodal detection algorithms that includes scene detection, object detection, both visual text and then speech-to-text detection, we offer solutions for different kind of media processing and editing workflows, and also addressing regulatory compliance issues. So just a few examples: explicit or violent content detection, health advisory concerns like detecting of presence of alcohol, tobacco products, or for example, smoking scenes, strong language detection, or there is also a framework for customizable celebrity or logo detection, just to mention a few examples. WINNOW is a standalone software utilizing GPU processing, and it is running on Linux operating system and available for on-premise and on cloud installation too. On a high level, this is very simple what WINNOW is doing. It takes the media content as input, processes it according to the selected scheme, and then provide the report about the content. And based on this report, the customer can do further decision what to do with the content. For example, it can be automatically distributed as it is, or it may have some parts that prevent the distribution of some specific delivery channels, or maybe it is not appropriate for some specific geos. So WINNOW itself has its own web UI. It can be managed manually, of course, via this UI, but it also has a RESTful API, and it enables the integration with other components, of course. And talking about other components, a big advantage of WINNOW is that it is part of the BATON ecosystem, so it can be easily integrated with BATON itself, and it is easy to process the different kind of media formats that are already supported in BATON, including the package formats we already have in BATON, like IMF, DCP, or VOD, ABR content like HLS, MPEG-, are supported here as well. For the BATON integration, in the audio and video classification sections of the test plan can be enabled. And in this case, when the verification task is starting in BATON, the WINNOW will also process the same content in parallel. And once both process is finished, a merged verification report can be accessed in BATON. WINNOW is also integrated with the BATON media player, so the manual review of the winnowing result can be done directly from the BATON media player. In WINNOW, the processing is happening according to the selected scheme. It is similar to the BATON test plan. In the scheme, you can select which applications you would like to use and select subcategories inside. It is similar, so just like for example, for the same main application, we have subcategories because it is possible that the regulatory requirements are varying country by country. So by using this prepared scheme, you can target multiple needs. Here you can see the currently available applications and also these categories I mentioned. Of course, we are continuously working on this product and adding more and more features. So new scene detection types, new object detections, and more categories for the existing applications are coming. This product is in continuous enhancement, of course. And as Penny also mentioned, it is getting better and better as customers are using more and more. So thank you very much. And Joseph, you can continue with other machine learning products.
Thank you so much, Victor. So let's move on to BATON Captions, a product that is aiming to automate the captioning QC and caption generation workflows. So BATON Caption is an application based on machine learning approach to create and manage captions in file-based workflows. It is a one-stop solution to all your captioning needs. It offers a caption generation module. It can also do QC on the existing captions or subtitles. And of course, we also offer auto correction inside the BATON captions. You can use the feature-rich player to do your own review and basically see whether the automated results are satisfactory, or you may want to do some editing and further tweaking on the subtitles before exporting them. So let's take a look in the workflows in the case of QC and correction. So typically here, you would import your content along with the captions. Then you need to select a scheme and then QC to find any issues in the captions. Auto-correction can also happen in the issues that are found by BATON captions. And then as the next step, you can do the manual review of the results in the BATON media player. And finally, once the review is done, you can export the results into any caption or subtitle format. Looking into the caption generation module, here you need to submit your content, and then BATON captions will listen into the audio of the media file, and based on the audio it will generate a transcript file together with the time codes. After this, you can review and edit the results in the player. You can also add attributes and screen placement. And finally, you can export the results into the required caption or subtitle format. So the BATON media player is used in the case of BATON captions as well, in order to provide a feature-rich review interface. So in the review panel, you have the possibility to do text formatting and positioning. You can do time code editing, utterance editing and formatting, spell check, find and replace, symbol insertion, and many more. It also offers an audio waveform panel where you can zoom in and zoom out of the on the audio waveform. It also offers a channel-wise view for the audio waveform, and utterance time code editing is also possible. The BATON media player is seamlessly integrated with BATON captions. So it will connect to BATON captions and access the captioning result. It will also connect to the content location in order to access the media file. And then it will provide review and editing and saving capabilities for the users. So basically, after the automated step, the automated caption generation or the automated QC of the subtitles and captions, then you can also have a kind of human step to do a proper manual review on the results. You can edit the results, and then finally you can save it and export the results into the desired output format. So the BATON captions webinar will be available, or it will take place on the 1st of October. So I do encourage all of you to join that webinar. And in case you have any customer who might be interested in subtitling workflows or heavily relying on subtitles, please do invite them. The R&D team made a really nice job on adding more and more functionality and making the product way more usable. So it's going to be a really interesting webinar. Moving on to LIPSYNC, a solution that automates audio-video sync checking. So LIPSYNC is basically an AI ML-based solution to detect lip sync issues. It is using Interra's proprietary algorithms, and it is a really unique solution since it doesn't need any digital fingerprinting or watermarking in the source content. It is non-reference based. It compares the lips movement against the audio speech. So due to this, it is fully language independent. And it integrates seamlessly in existing content processing workflows, or it can be used as a standalone application as well. It was designed keeping scalability and high availability in mind. So the way it works, at the top level, the application works as a three-step process. So first, we detect the lips of an active speaker. That means first detecting any face in the video, and then detecting the lips on that face. Then we investigate whether the sequence of frames contribute to any lip movement. After we detected the lip movement, we pinpoint the active speaker, and once the active speaker is detected for a certain duration, we extract speech from the audio for the corresponding time period. And then we pass the video and the audio region together to the LIPSYNC detection model in order to detect whether those are in sync or not. If not in sync, we measure the offset value on how much the audio is leading or lagging in respect to the video. And finally, we give the results in a comprehensive report in multiple forms. LIPSYNC is also integrated with the BATON media player. So basically, BMP provides a rich user interface to plot the audio and video sync errors on a lead and lag timeline. On the timeline, you can see the exact location of the errors. It can also play the original and the adjusted video side by side. And it can also take manual input for lead and lag experimentation. So in case you are not satisfied with the automated LIPSYNC measurement result, you can play around with it and see what kind of offset would work for this particular region. So on the user interface of the BATON media player, you will see the speaker availability panel. So these are the regions where an active speaker was detected. So the LIPSYNC detection was possible. And then on the media timeline, you can see whether the audio was leading or lagging, or it was perfectly in sync with the video. So again, another use case for BMP, and BMP is also nicely integrated with the LIPSYNC product as well. So in case you want to see LIPSYNC in action, then on the 6th of October, we will have the webinar on LIPSYNC. So now let's move on to the VEGA product family, and I will pass it on to Victor again.
Thanks, Joseph. So the products discussed until now are about the automation of different kind of media processing. These products can support operators in different activities, speed up workflows, or help to react to given problems in an appropriate time. In addition, another very important product we have is VEGA. So VEGA is mainly an in-depth media debugging tool that experts can use if they need to dig deeper and they need to catch the technical problem inside the bit stream. So one of the typical usage, if a customer catch some problematic file or file package, for example, by using BATON or ORION or other products, they can use VEGA to do the in-depth analyzing of the problem and find the resolution. Some highlights about VEGA. So first of all, I would like to mention that the old VEGA H264 and VEGA AGVC now combined in the VEGA VMA, stands for VEGA Media Analyzer. So from now, VMA will be the product that will be distributed to the customers. And of course, existing customers can also switch to it either. VMA has most of the functionalities that other VEGA editions had. So customers shouldn't miss any existing features if they're switching to it from other editions. VMA has the same new UI style as the VEGA AGVC application had, and this should provide much better user experience and also enable us to add further enhancements. Another thing we would like to highlight is the VEGA CLI, stands for Command Line Interface. That is a command line application built for Linux deployment. The development of such analyzer tool cannot be stopped, of course. A couple of new formats and standards are being continuously introduced and used in the industry. And of course, the same are also continuously added to VEGA, including support of new standards, support even to package formats, not just individual file processing, quality checks, and of course, enhancements for existing features too. So here you can see a few examples. And again, as it was mentioned, we will have the VEGA webinar soon. So you can see here much more details about these improvements and new stuff. And finally, just a few more sentences also about the VEGA CLE. So this is a Docker-based application, so it can be easily deployed even in virtual environments or even in the cloud environments. It can execute analysis of multiple streams for one go, and it can be controlled from command line. And as an output of the processing, it provides the XML report with the parsed data, and also this report contains information about decoding-based conformance checks performed on the media file during the processing. It also has the additional features that we have in other VEGA edition, like the buffer analysis, elementary streams, and a couple of others, and we will also add more and more to the same. So now with this ORION CLI, it's also possible to do the cloud processing and in-depth analyzing, even in a semi-automated way by using the VEGA core, algorithm core processing. So that was, I just wanted to mention about it, and as I mentioned in the future webinars, you can see the further details. VEGA is a quite specific tool, so experts can explain more about it.
Thanks very much, Victor, and thanks, Joseph. I hope that's been valuable, just going through the products at sort of fairly high level. And as we've said, you know, there will be the detailed webinars with actual demonstrations of the product coming up very soon over the next couple of weeks. They will be also available as recordings. Just on your screen is a few of our overall messages. We still retain our position as the global experts and market leaders for auto QC and video analysis. And as I think we've mentioned as we've gone through, it's very, very important that you have a seriously large development team to keep up with all these different changes and upgrades within the industry. And we like to think that we're still the leaders in that. Going to move on now. As you can see, there's been quite a few changes in our products over the last year, and it's a shame we won't be able to show them to you in person at IBC this year. But I'm going to move on now to opening it up if you've got any questions or comments coming that. I think what we'll have to do, if we can just unmute everybody, then if anybody does have a question or comment to add, maybe about IBC and NAB being so close together next year, then please do feel free to jump in. Right, I think people are unmuted now, unless you may have to do it yourself if. I think some people are still muted. Yeah, I think some people are having some trouble unmuting. Doesn't seem to be quite working.
Is it on?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Yes.
Hi, I'm Jin from Korea, working for Namsan company.
Hi, Jin. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Do you have a comment or question that you'd like to ask?
Yes, I have actually two questions to ask. The first one is that are WINNOW and BATON both verifying media files at the same time?
Yes, they can do. Yes. I think we had a slide in the middle there which showed how BATON and WINNOW can work together. You could either have, say, BATON doing a technical analysis, if you like, and then WINNOW, or potentially you could have WINNOW starting its analysis at the same time. I say generally. Sorry, say again.
So what about the case of the third one? So does BATON determines directly classify the media files to WINNOW? Is it possible?
It would, well.
Penny, may I jump
yes,
in?
Yes, by all means, Victor. Let's have more discussion, the better.
In case of integration between BATON and WINNOW, BATON is triggering the winnowing process by using actually the WINNOW API. The processing is happening in parallel. So once you trigger a verification in BATON that also require the winnowing, then this both processing will happening in parallel. One is in BATON and one's in WINNOW. And once these processes are finished, there will be a merged final report with all of the results. But the WINNOW processing is happening at WINNOW side, the BATON processing is happening at BATON side.
So that means it's possible. Am I right?
It's possible. Yes. It's possible to trigger both type of processing at the same time.
Okay, and the other question is for BATON caption. Is Korean language support yet?
I don't think it's quite yet, but if you have a customer requirement, we have partnered with a third-party specialist in languages so that we can offer this, and therefore the potential is there to offer languages very, very quickly. The first iteration, I think, has been like French and Spanish and a few other of the Latin group languages, but I think Korean is available with this third party, so happy to discuss that. Shouldn't take too long. In fact, we might ask your assistants just to verify that it is absolutely accurate. I see there are one or two other people on this call who've assisted us just to verify the accuracy of this language integration in CAPTION, for which we're very grateful. But we also have external connections who we are verifying the different languages with. So if you've got a customer that's very interested in CAPTION, do let us know, and we can see if we can push that up the implementation list.
Yes, I have some customers who are looking forward to have them tested, but only the one condition, supporting the Korean language.
Yeah, CAPTION, you know, we absolutely recognize CAPTION's got to be multi-language. You know, the necessity around the world now for what's referred to here in Europe as accessibility, right? Having captions and having support for potentially for disabled access and things like this is becoming very, very important around the world, and so we recognize that. With the CAPTION product, initially we did a lot of work with a customer in the US who has provided us with some wonderful feedback on the product and helped us to get it to these 3 modules. But now we're starting to offer CAPTION in other languages. And certainly if you've got a particular customer, perhaps who is particularly friendly, you know, I'm sure we could work on something with our third-party language supplier.
Okay. That's it for me. Thank you very much for your answer.
Thanks very much for your questions, Jin. And as I say, if you join the CAPTION workshop and webinar, which I think is coming next week, then I'm sure you can have more in-depth detail on this. But
Okay.
I'll pass, you know, we'll pass on certainly the inquiry, but obviously you're very welcome to ask about the specific possibility of maybe a customer demo, individual demo, that kind of thing.
That's cool.
Anybody else got any questions? I gather some people are having trouble unmuting. Hopefully.
Hi, I've got a quick question.
Oh, hello, Peter. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to join. It's yeah, Africa is not always for sissies, as we like to say.
I've always found it to be a great place, but when I've had the chance, alas, I may not get the chance to visit for a long time, but hopefully this virus will go one of these days.
Yeah,
So,
no, let's hope.
Yeah, so what's your question, Peter?
My first one, also with the captioning, have you guys, with your third party, had any luck with the African languages?
They certainly do cover them. I can't say that some of the more obscure ones are covered, but certainly I've seen Swahili and a couple of others are on the list.
Like South Africa has got.
I know you've got quite a few. So, you know, I wouldn't pretend to be an expert on all local dialects and things like this, but certainly I've seen some of the main ones on the list.
I'll check just to see on the list what can and cannot be done.
Yeah.
And then my next question with the LIPSYNC, I do know some software will do the 24 frame to 25 frame conversions quite badly. Will that, with LIPSYNC, will it pick it up and tell you that it's actually a 24 frame to 25 frame sync issue? Or will it just tell you it's 24 in the sync, that it's 1 frame before, 1 frame after?
It works on, it won't tell you specifically the 24-25, but it will tell you the offset.
Yeah, so
counting frames.
So basically this is focusing on the lip movement and then comparing the lip movement to the spoken audio. So it's not going to tell you what is the reason of the problem, but it will tell you that some kind of offset is detected, and as per the measurement, the value of this offset is this or that, and so on. So you weren't gonna get to know the root cause, but you will know that some lip sync issue is there.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
It's an interesting point, though, actually, Peter, that you bring up there. Might have a chat
I've
with
seen,
our...
especially on long form,
Yeah,
clip, it drifts dramatically and then comes back. And
yeah, yeah.
not all the QC guys actually notices that it's actually from a 24 to 25 frame sync.
Well, because it's
it might happen due to clock inaccuracy as well. So let's say you capture the video with your, I don't know, with your phone, and then you separately capture the audio with a Tascam or Zoom recorder or whatever, and in case there is no sync like Genlock or HDMI sync or whatever kind of sync between the two devices, on the end, when you merge the video and the audio, then basically the two different clocks will drift away, and then at some point they might come back. But obviously this kind of drifting is really noticeable, especially on long form content.
Sure.
Yeah,
No,
it's part of the reason that, you know, we've been asked about lip sync at shows, to my knowledge, for about 6 years, and it's always been something that you really needed people to look for. It's only the advent of being able to use the sort of AI machine learning type technologies that's enabled us to really crack this one. And of course, the thing about these machine learning products is they get better and better. They do learn. And it may well be that it learns that certain conditions may point to a 24-25 sync problem as time goes on.
Oh, that'll be great, yeah.
It may teach itself.
Yes. Okay,
So,
thank you very much.
Okay, anybody else want to have a little comment? Well, unless anybody else wants to comment, I think probably we'll wind up the session here today, and hope to see you on the other webinars that we're doing. And one day, we very much hope to see you all in person, and obviously your customers. That we'll very much look forward to. Last call for any questions. Please scream. Well, in which case I'll thank my colleagues, Victor Till and Joseph Pinter. And we very much hope that was useful to you. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.